Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We're zooming in and focusing in on a key component, I feel, towards healing and making yourself whole as a result of needing to move forward and beyond a toxic relationship. One where manipulation and narcissism or psychopathy might be involved within an individual whom you have had a close encounter or quote unquote relationship with. And this might be someone in your past, present, and you might be needing some tools and resources to help understand how to move through successfully. One of the important concepts I feel with moving forward successfully and healing after a toxic relationship is to understand really what manipulation is and how you will be tested, because a narcissist and a psychopath is part of their personality disorder, diagnosis, non-diagnosis situation, whatever it is that you have encountered. One of the elements is to be that of challenging your authenticity or your degree of standing by your truth. One of the, I would say, common denominators with people who have suffered as a result of being engaged or, in relationships with manipulative others is that of losing their own personal power or that ability to have that connection, that authentic connection with themselves. And instead of having that authentic connection where one is able to, easily, if not with a little bit of deliberation, stand up for their own truth, stand up for their own values, standing up for themselves. And meaning that you don't want to just put up with a certain type of treatment for the sake of keeping the relationship together. We're staying together for the kids, we're staying together for whatever. It's usually an excuse that one will either make to the other individual or to themselves if they don't know how to handle the concept of perhaps that this relationship is not a good fit or in their best, interest. So there's a tendency then to set aside or procrastinate with the truth, set aside or put a back burner towards really that problem solving process that needs to be engaged in to really be able to say what is good and what is not good for yourself in terms of your best interest with the influences of others and allowing them in or not. A narcissist, as well as a psychopath, will be very adept at taking supply type relationships, meaning ones that will be one-sided or one-way street, meaning it's filled with double standards, what they can do and what you can't do, where they're important and then you're unimportant, where they excel and you have a deficit. There's this imbalance of power. And the narcissist and the psychopath oftentimes will find themselves attached to or in quote unquote relationships. It's not a true relationship because oftentimes there's a good degree or a fair amount of deception going on in the part of the toxic party, meaning, they're not upfront, they're not transparent with you. And oftentimes, the issue is that there's deception or intentional deception involved, meaning that they're hiding the truth, they're hiding other relationships, they're hiding the fact that you need to be able to express yourself or that you have feelings and to make those, given space so that they can hold space for you to be able to hold those into a space between you all where this can be, experienced. The narcissist and the psychopath don't allow others to experience and live in their truth and their authenticity. It either presents a threat, it presents a challenge, it presents boredom for them, meaning that they, are really only interested in the stimulation of being better than. They're not comfortable with quote unquote just being. They have a propensity or sometimes even obsession or Sam Vatkin will say an insatiable need for power and control. Insatiable meaning not able to be satisfied. So it's not, as if, they, there's one, isolated area, and then once they get the control over this, or once it's flushed out, that everything is okay. It tends to perpetuate itself moving forward, meaning the ante gets upped and upped and upped more and more. And this can cause a real de-escalation in the self-esteem and empowerment of others who are around them. And really the sad part is this oftentimes goes on without their knowing, without their consent, without their awareness. And people feel naive, green, victimized, too empathetic, or codependent. So there's all these other aberrations that begin to take place, and that these aberrations or unhealthy aspects in a social network begin to be reinforced, which means rather than feeling that you're growing with them, you feel that you're either regressing or repressing your personal growth for the betterment of another. And this can get uneven and unbalanced very quickly, or can be gradual over a long period of time. And then there's that experience of being played for the fool. And it doesn't make you foolish. It's an opportunity for learning and growth, which is ultimately what we want in relationships to begin with. If you're not growing, if you're not expanding, if you're going backwards, oftentimes there's going to be a degree of unhappiness. Feeling that you've lost ground, you've lost traction, you've lost time, you've lost finances, you've lost face. Feeling that you're entering into more negative states versus empowered, positive, or even, neutral states where, at least you can be content, you can be at peace, you can feel safe, you can feel whole and intact. And, the other issue I feel that a cause of the imbalance is that due to a narcissist's desire to always sort of be better than, it's always sort of rubbing in an inferiority, rubbing in, just putting the rub on that just sort of reminds you that you are not as good as, whether it's a look, a comment, a text, a call, it just seems to be a perpetual gap that the narcissist seeks to create, that is part of the entitlement. They only feel that they should relate to others of equal or greater status, meaning that they will infuriate others to keep them down. In other words, to help, bring themselves up. And not that the others who are around them are, not good enough. The narcissist makes it so. The psychopath will make it so that you don't see what's going on. You don't understand their enigmatic speech. You don't understand their sarcastic jabs. You think it's time to be funny. And so rather than standing up for yourself and saying, no, I don't need that. That is not funny. I don't like to be the butt of the jokes. This is not endearing. This is not cute. It's very difficult to make that assertion, because oftentimes in the mind of the other individual, the other party who is receiving this, is feeling, if I stand up for myself, I could lose the relationship. I could really lose face. I could really lose ground. And this person is so important to me. Certainly their entitlement has made it so in your eyes, and then it's been reinforced through feeling that you need this relationship, and that you'll even make the, that ultimate sacrifice in just sort of feeling like second fiddle, 18th fiddle to this individual for sake of keeping them propped up where they want to be. So, realize that is not an essential for functional relationships. It's oftentimes a basic equation that is indoctrinated into the relationship from a narcissist or psychopathic individual who really makes their strides by being manipulative and controlling and exploiting the vulnerability and human side of others. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.